Alright guys, welcome back to another video with Derek Okahashi, my team, core team Hawaii. I'm moving to Hawaii. This is another episode of your questions. Derek, on your next Q&A session, can you please address this? We've been coming to Kolina for the last 5 years. About 3 years ago, we were told that 2 empty lots were sold to Atlantis to build a hotel, but it's been 3 years. We've seen no construction of this hotel. Also, we heard that Paradise Cove was sold to make room for condos. Finally, is there any future development in Kolina? Thank you. When you're going to Lagoon 4, when you take the right and there's like a field on the left over there, they are going to develop that section. Paradise Cove, same thing. Now, what's going to be what? I'm not privy to those plans exactly, but my understanding is potentially more condos, more shopping and restaurants. Right now, when you live in Kolina, you live in this resort that is really convenient to kapolei, so you have to shoot into kapolei for shopping, and you know, the ABC store there is probably the best ABC store around. You know, you might be like, what does he mean the best, like saying the best 7-Eleven? But ABC stores are they're like the Hawaii tourist corner store. In Waikiki, you could have a block and have a store on each corner. There's probably that. ABC store is like the hub for the Kolina community, whether local, temporary, or really just vacationing. And then you go into kapolei for everything else. After all of this construction with the vacant land that exists, it will be more so a place where you can live and not have to leave for days and weeks on end. You know, I'm not guaranteeing anything, but I'm also optimistic about buying in Kolina because of this development. Kolina has been very thoughtfully done. It's very meticulously maintained. It can be good and bad. You know, if you don't like strict associations, probably not your place. It's been done well. And I can imagine that with whatever is going to be at Paradise Cove and whatever is going to be by that Lagoon 4, you know, more places to live, more places to invest, shops, restaurants. And I think values will rise in Kolina disproportionate to the market. Another insider Kolina pro tip is that the sport and fitness center is going to get renovated. They have plans for that. Now that I think about it, as upscale as Kolina is, the fitness center is a little lacking, right? They're going to renovate that, and they're also adding a pool, like a fitness center pool. So I'm not sure if it's going to be like a 25-yard lap pool or 25-meter pool or what. Kolina is just getting better and better. So this question of Kolina also prompts another question, kind of the question of, is Kapolei really becoming the second city on the island? And so there's a bit of competition maybe between Kolina and the country club community of Ho'akalei. So Ho'akalei and Ewa Beach, which we showed in our Ewa Beach video, and we have a whole video on Kolina as well. Ho'akalei will have its own marina, and there's wave pool development, and they're planning to kind of make it look like Hawaii Kai, where you have this marina with condos and shops surrounding. And right now, Kolina is that for the west side. Since Ewa Beach is vast and large, and you have shopping centers, you don't really have to leave Ewa Beach all year if you don't want to. Kolina, you have to leave it regularly. It's very defined, you know, the boundaries. There's one way in, one way out. You pass a guard shack of sorts. It's very noticeable that you are leaving Kolina, whereas in Ewa Beach, Ho'akalei, you kind of just like leave the neighborhood and go to the Safeway and then go back. It's a little more indiscernible. They want to make Kolina so you do not have to leave the resort. It's an all-in-one resort living experience. That's the goal of developing those areas. Next question, and this kind of ties into Kolina, is what is happening with the short-term rental game on the island, short-term rental rules. So you may have heard, but there is legislation being worked on. It's past the first round of approval and in revision, so it probably is coming. The legislation is for the short-term rental rules to be the most strict in the country. Currently, it's 30 days or less. If the association even allows you to rent the place out for anything less than long-term, or you're breaking the rules, you have to pay a fine. Who I believe to be probably the Hilton attorneys and the Marriotts of the world, who don't like it that the short-term rental model, the Airbnb, VRBO model, cuts into their bottom line and encroaches upon their bottom line. Pretty sure they've lobbied and gotten these rules changed and are getting these rules changed. What does that mean for you if you're looking to invest or looking to buy? Contact me privately so that we can look at this in depth. Do not base your investment decisions off of this. This is just broad overview and conversational. If you are looking to do short-term rentals and they change it to 180 days, you're going to need to be investing and owning in a community that is zoned as resort or residential resort. We'll see what the final rules are when this legislation rolls out, because again, right now it's November of 2021, and these things could change over time. You're not going to be able to do less than 180 days if this goes through, which it looks like it will. That pretty much kills short-term rentals don't exist, because that is not short for anyone. One of the things I heard from one of the agents, which I plan to go to the next open public hearing, and I'll report back when I do. One of their excuses is that it's hard to track currently. There's too many people renting out short-term rentals. But one of their solutions is, one of their fixes is to make exceptions. Because right now, if 180 days is the term limit or whatever for these rentals, how are traveling nurses who are on 8 to 13 week contracts going to rent a place? How are corporations going to rent for their traveling consultants? Things, military in transition. What are they going to do? If you're military and you've PCS before, you know how TLA, temporary lodging assistance, works, or allowance, whatever. And sometimes you need a place for anywhere from a week to 2 months. Where are those people going to stay? And if they have pets, there aren't many hotels that allow them to have their pets, so sometimes they do Airbnb. The waters are muddy. There's several points of views. It's nuanced. It's worth conversation. To summarize, it's probably going to be 180 days for short-term rentals. Anything less will only be with exceptions, and the short-term rental game in Hawaii is going to be mostly dead. Now, in places like Kolina, Turtle Bay, in the Waikiki area that is zoned as resort, not all of Waikiki, but a lot of Waikiki that is zoned as resort, there will still be an Airbnb market, a short-term rental market. And you know what? If you own assets in that market, it could be that they perform better. So we'll see how that unfolds. We'll keep track of it on this channel over time. Contact me directly if you have questions about that. Someone contacted me on Instagram and said, hey, I love your videos. Can you do a video or more videos on moving to Hawaii as a single person? I think the term they used was not a nuclear family or a traditional family. Yeah, it really depends. You know what though, if you're single, the mix of cultures and ethnicities, Hawaii is a place with beautiful people. It's also a place where you can be outside and doing things a lot, right? So if you live in that downtown Ala Moana, Ward, Kakako area, it's just a great downtown environment. I have a good friend, we joined the Coast Guard together. Mark is a bachelor for life. He's 40, 41 now, never been in a really long-term relationship. He's an executive at a prestigious company, makes good money. He owns a studio in Kakako and he misses it. He lives in Miami now, so I'm sure he's not complaining a ton. I had coffee with Mark recently. It may be where he is in life as well, but he stated to me that it's hard to maintain the kind of friendships elsewhere. He's lived on the East Coast and in Miami and in different places. His corporate pursuit has taken him different places. But he's kind of talked to me about how the friendships and the authenticity that he gets here doesn't exist elsewhere. I know that that's not specific to being single. It's just living in downtown Honolulu would be a unique experience. That proximity to the ocean, the food, the vibrancy. We'll do our Ward video. I'll offer you this. Check back for our Ward Avenue, our Ward area video that we'll shoot soon. We will speak to this question a little more, and maybe I'll work to bring on someone who's a little more single in their adult life than I am. Okay, this is from David Barker. What's up, David? On YouTube, in our comments. You want to get shouted out on one of these videos, you gotta leave us comments. Put some gas on our tank. David said, is it common these days for buyers to forego the inspection because there is usually a bidding war on the house? No, we'd rarely recommend that anyone forego a home inspection. Even on new construction, maybe especially on new construction. I almost never recommend that you forego a home inspection. We have done that in unique cases. So for one, investors. Sometimes investors will forego a home inspection. These are very experienced buyers, professional real estate people, in their own right. And they may forego a home inspection because they've already underwritten the deal and factored in a new roof and a new this and a new that. A buyer recently that we had forego the home inspection was one whom was getting into a deal that we had off market, that we had previously had secured and locked up by another buyer who did their home inspection, and the parties were comfortable sharing info. And so the new buyer said there's already been a home inspection done. It's a townhome in an association, 1 story. They don't have to worry about a roof. They're not responsible for foundation, you know, things of that nature. So they said, look, there's already been a home inspection, so we'll waive it. So they really didn't forego it. You know, they had a chance to review it ahead of time, but the offer didn't have one. If your wishes are to forego the home inspection and you want to do it, that's fine. We can do it. Probably going to be a waiver involved. In fact, I know there would be a waiver involved, because we would just never recommend you do that. Let's not get put in a bad situation, expose ourselves and be vulnerable in the heat of the moment, in the heat of the market, because of this market. I do things in my contracts that brokers tell me no, and then I have to go to other people and say, look, this is why I'm doing this. It's not wrong, it's just different. It's just edgy. I'm all for that. But waiving the home inspection, no, it's not a common thing. That's a long-winded thing to say, almost never. Miko Romero, or Micho, was it Miko Romero? Correct me, you know, tell me how you're supposed to say your name. Miko said, is the homelessness around Kaka'ako still there? Interesting. I wonder where you're, like, did you live in Hawaii? Are you from Hawaii? Because when you say that, you're referencing a reputation to a community that, yeah, it's not the same now. Kaka'ako has been, gentrified is not the word, like urbanified or developed, you know what I mean? It's like cool, you know? You've seen the Kaka'ako videos. The displaced people or homeless, you know, issue isn't the same right there anymore. You know, there's A'ala Park, and when, like, you know, you come around Nimitz, from where Alamana Boulevard becomes Nimitz, there's always the tents and stuff right there. There are areas in town on this island at certain beaches, certain pockets of downtown, but Kaka'ako, I think what you're referencing is maybe a generation ago, you know, what Kaka'ako was. Yeah, it's not the same. Right across from Salt, what's the name of the street? Anyways, streets going Mackay from Salt. There are some people that live in their cars on those streets too. To revise my answer, I guess, like, it's still there. It's a little more pockety. We don't have that, like, at some point in our childhoods or young adulthoods, there was like a row of, you know, our little, I don't want to say skid row, but yeah, we had like our row of tents and displaced people. If you're from Hawaii, Miko or Micho, you experienced something, you know, years ago, earlier in life, and it's not the same as it was then. If you were just here in the last few years and you noticed it and were kind of alarmed, then it might be more of the same. All right, guys, that was your questions. Remember, if you want to get featured on this channel, you want your questions answered by myself or maybe a special guest that we might bring on, make sure to leave comments below. Leave comments in the comment section. Every like and subscribe and all that stuff really puts gas in our tank to keep doing this. We love it when you go through our website, which is down below, and you fill out the contact form and we get in touch through our systems and processes. But you know what? Some people reach out personally and shoot us a text message, slide in our DMs, whatever the case may be. So definitely do that. Reach out to me. Look forward to talking with you guys, and check out these other videos wherever they put them up. Wherever my guys put them up, check out the videos. Thank you, guys.